So I was having a bunch of reflections from this woman, inspired by this woman, Sofia sundari, how there's the small I, it protects us. The big I is the all. So even if someone treats you as worthless, you're precious, you must see and honor that. It's the small I that might feel worthless. It's the big I that is precious, we have to see and honor. So what if someone loses a diamond in the trash? Get yourself out of the garbage, polish the diamond. The highest praise of the Most High is the gift of having the function of the ability to adapt. The tipping point of the inner peace leading to the outer circuitry is what we learn in the Jewish tradition called Mashiach consciousness. It's when we pass the threshold of the action potential into the manifested revelation, because action potential is when your nervous system has to reach a point in order to fire. It's all or nothing. Either it goes past the threshold and then it flips the switch, or it doesn't. Just because someone didn't love you, and I would say yet, doesn't mean you shouldn't love yourself. If you feel powerless, remember, without your thoughts about it wouldn't exist. So you're giving it power. You feel powerless to change it, but it wouldn't exist without you. It's a reflection of you. That's your innate, non-confiscatable power, because everyone belongs in the infinite puzzle. If you feel you don't belong, you're probably in the wrong spot or trying to be next to the wrong adjacent puzzle piece. Somebody posted on their status, this woman, Cohen, she posted, how to become a good parent. Listen more than you lecture. Kids want to feel heard. Teach life skills, not just school skills. Discipline with love, not fear, and I would add also not with shame. Be the example, not just the rule maker. Celebrate effort, not just results. Protect the child in private, protect the child in public. Right. Okay, when you want to correct the child in private. So basically, protect the child in public. Only correct them if you want to correct them, only in private. Spend time, not just money. Presence matters more than the presence. Presence matters more than presence. Presents. Teach respect by showing respect to your spouse. Apologize when you're wrong, because kids will be learning humility from you. Raise them for the world, not just your home. On Instagram, Guts, GUTZ156, I learned that from a teacher. A resilient nervous system regulates stress through expression, not suppression. So you might think when someone's arguing loudly that it's chaos, but actually it's self-regulation, because their body's offloading adrenaline in real time. They're not going into trauma. A long-term study linked loud arguers to better cardiovascular health, while suppressed anger doubled the risk of hypertension. Sometimes the heart pays for the mouth staying shut. Like we would say, when it stays shut, not out of humility, but out of pride. So some believe loud conflict means weakness or immaturity, but others now see that it's more often a sign of a system that bends without breaking. One camp stays polite but silently fries their nerves, and the other camp that vents, recovers, and moves on stronger. And this is not true for everyone. It's important to keep in mind. In Shir, Song of Songs, and number 8-4, it's written by Shlomo, it says, don't stir up nor awaken love with force until it pleases, until it's the appropriate time. So he says, I adjure you, O daughters of Jerusalem, why should you awaken and why should you arouse the love until it's desirous? So at first we learned it in plain English, but that's what it says. It's like really important, and I feel like those who worry about the government and the power, my reminder to them is that, whether they're threatening our civil liberties and rights and fundamental freedoms, remember that life supports life. Stop being addicted to the negative timelines of worthlessness, desecration. Let's all rise together to the Most High. We're a human species, organism, body. We have to trust our immunity. Alpha Woman Mindset on Instagram, an account said, letting him go is scary, because this is like, I've been thinking about somebody who had to let go. So this is good for me to hear. I wrote this a few months ago. These are my notes. Letting him go is scary, but you know what is scarier? Having kids with a liar, being gaslit for 30 years, feeling alone when you're pregnant, crying yourself to sleep when he rolls over, having permanent anxiety, going through his phone every week, being told your emotions are drama, crying on your birthdays. It's hard to let go, but it's harder to live that life. And I wanted to share 6 core traits of an emotionally abusive partner from Leah Aguirre. She's LCSW, and this is why you can't reason with them and why they won't change. And then we're going to go straight into what Sofia sundari teaches, the one who was inspiring my reflections that I was sharing about the big I and the small I. So the bigger feminine, the small feminine, and the lower feminine and the higher feminine. So let's do the 6 core traits of an emotionally abusive partner. egocentric, self-focused. So this is all about them, their needs, their feelings, their image. They struggle with or completely lack true empathy. They will rarely consider your perspective unless it serves their agenda, and they view relationships as a means to meet their needs. It's not to them a partnership. 2, emotionally reactive, immature. They cannot manage or regulate their emotions appropriately. Instead, they explode, withdraw, punish, sulk, tantrum like a child, and believe their extreme reactions are justified. They see boundaries, feedbacks, and silence as personal attacks, and when everything feels like a slight, even a healthy conversation can turn into conflict. 3, lack of cognitive flexibility and using emotional reasoning. Emotional reasoning, if I feel it, it automatically is true. For example, if they feel disrespected, attacked, or victimized, they assume it's a fact, regardless of reality, and therefore they'll believe they could do whatever they want. When or if they feel criticized, you must have meant to hurt them. When or if they feel jealous, you must be doing something wrong. When or if they feel secure, you must be untrustworthy. Their emotions override facts, logic, outside perspective, or even the potential for that. Number 4, limited self-awareness. This is an inflated or totally distorted view of the self, seeing themselves as good, the victim, misunderstood in most of situations. They don't reflect honestly on their behavior or own their harm that they've caused or take accountability without twisting it back on you. Instead, they deflect, they deny, and they blame. Number 5, attention seeking and image obsessed. They crave admiration, attention, constant reassurance, not only out of insecurity because it adds to their sense of power. What really matters to them is how they look to others and how they can control the narrative, how they can stay admired even at your expense. They care more about protecting their image than owning the real impact of their behavior, and when they don't get the attention and validation they want, expect guilt trips, punishment, sulking, emotional outbursts, or other dramatic behavior. 6, need for control. Want things done in a way that feels good for them, even if it's harmful for you. Your comfort, autonomy, or well-being are secondary to their need for control. I want to pause and reread the end of number 5. What really matters to this, so remember, attention seeking, image obsessed, we should read this again. What really matters to them is how they look to others, how they can control the narrative, because now we're going to talk about the control after, but how they can control the narrative and how they can stay admired even at your expense. They care more about protecting their image than owning the real impact of their behavior. And when they don't get the attention and validation they want to expect from them, this is ways that they could try to get it. Guilt trips, punishment, sulking, emotional outbursts, or other dramatic behavior. 6, need for control. They want things done in a way that feels good for them, even if it's harmful to you. Your comfort, autonomy, or well-being are secondary to their need for control. They believe they have the right to dictate your choices and entitled to decide who you spend time with who you spend time, what you care about, even how you express yourself. And they cross boundaries and make it seem normal for your own good. Whether subtle or overt, control is always the goal. And just keep in mind with all of this, it's not you, it's them. You're not too sensitive, too much, or always at fault. These patterns are not a reflection of you. They are a reflection of their need for control, their immaturity, their refusal to take responsibility. Healthy relationships don't leave you doubting your reality. And now, from Sofia Sundari, a really wonderful teacher. She says, when you believe a man is too weak to stay or be loyal or work hard or provide for you or handle your femininity, it's actually a reflection of the mirror of your feelings of self-worth. I think of my father, my grandfather. All is love and a call to love. The current masculinity exactly that you have in your life, each one individually, she teaches, exactly matches your femininity. He loves you that much to be exactly corresponding to you in your needs, your vessel, and your readiness and your willingness to receive from him exactly the way he is, without trying to modify or adjust him. He shows you your state of worthiness by the completeness of his behavior in delivering the honor, respect, admiration, and love. And what's right in front of you is exactly what you match, and your actions day-to-day impact that. Being given, for example, when you're given what you can handle. You are, i.e., in other words, you're being given what you can handle. Even your past thoughts affected what is currently manifested and are affecting for the future. If you choose to be truly you, if I choose to be truly me and the best me, then all that's in my life is there only because it supports that. I don't have to be anything less than love. That's the beloved. I don't want a partner who origins from me needing a rescuer to help me, because then that partner supports me in the reality bathing in powerlessness and inadequacy, because I'm going to need a rescuer, right? God forbid. Because I just want to be held, or have someone to pay the bills or take out the trash. Rather, a partner who brings me closer to God, to what I was born for truth and for truth alone, plus lifting a man to more God, to spirituality. He's more lifted into his power and wealth and expanse in his masculine being, and that brings him more into his realm, which is the materiality. The mirror is not always the same thing as a match. She says in her words, the counterpart, the calibration point, is the match, right? Sometimes the mirror is not exactly that. So there's one masculinity. It can emanate through every man. It depends if you let him in or not. The man never leaves your world. There's always the counterpart. If you treat yourself like a princess, they'll treat you like a queen. Actually, that's the message I got. She did some workshops in her sessions I went to. So actually, I'm not here to be a creditless sacrifice martyr. That does not bring him to his highest potential. He wants and needs to be needed, useful, helpful, and wanted. Dealing for me with the love that turned into hate from when it was not safe to love for the sake of that inner circuitry, so that the pattern of over-explaining, proving, persuading, which detracts from the truth and the natural real value, it's actually counterproductive. That's like, so when I was trying to deal with the love that became hate because I didn't feel safe to love, in order to have that inner circuitry of free-flowing love, these patterns could be replaced with recognizing that he will show up. I don't need to prove and persuade and over-explain. From his own free will, he'll want to care and nurture and pleasure and protect and commit and provide and be loyal. And the real humility and modesty, knowing that a person puts time, work, and energy, money, let's say the effort, right, into what matters to him or her, like being, if it matters to be loved, be strong, be powerful, be chosen, be known, be understood, be appreciated, be nurtured, be comforted. And finally, she says, think of it like this: if you've been waiting, he was waiting until now for you to be ready. Your readiness is what held things up, because you're the vessel as the feminine. So you not being willing is what holds things up. Let's say to take care of yourself, to heal, to grow. So we'll stop here. It's very exciting stuff, and wish you all the best. Wishing you bliss, love, to feel beloved, to feel held, to feel taken care of, to feel nurtured, to feel safe, to be connected to Hashem, to feel good vibes, like from people around you, comfortable, to believe in yourself, to delete all the doubts, to feel able, to feel nourished, to feel like you could do the repair, to feel you have fresh eyes, you could see newness, and to enjoy the potential, but also to really see the person in front of you, whoever they are. And not to feel lonely, like to feel everything has its vessel. Amen.